Hi guys, welcome to the channel Mit with Card. My name is James, and if this is your first time here, welcome. If you like what you see on this particular video, consider doing all of those YouTubey things. Hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So, let's jump into the time machine and head way, way back to 1999. It's May, and in the month of May, we celebrate Star Wars. All month long, YouTube creators across the spectrum are going to be putting out Power of the Force reviews. And I just happen to be one of those creators. So, I'm fairly new to YouTube, so this is kind of all still new to me and still getting my sea legs. But I decided to write down some notes about 1999 and Star Wars Episode 1, and in particular, the figure I'm going to review today, Gasgano. So if you see me checking my notes, I'm trying to keep everything straight, okay? So, 1999 was marked by several significant events. Bill Clinton's impeachment for, well, if you know, you know. We also had the Columbine High School massacre and an escalation in the Kosovo War. But one thing was front and center on everyone's mind, and that was new Star Wars. That's right. George Lucas had given us the special editions released back into theaters with all new scenes, updated CGI. We even got Jedi rocks. But he was doing all of this so that he could get the technology to where it needed to be for Episode 1. Now, the trailer dropped on November 17th of 1998 in front of the Brad Pitt movie Meet Joe Black. Yeah, guys, I paid $7 to go see Meet Joe Black. Well, I paid $7 to see the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer. The hype was real, and Kenner was more than willing to capitalize on that. That's right. Just 4 years earlier, in 1995, they had re-released or released the Power of the Force collection. We all remember those figures. Big, buff Luke Skywalker, monkey face Leia. Whew. Starting off, they were pretty rough. But you know what? We were all happy because it was new Star Wars action figures. Believe me, I collected each and every one of them. Now, leading into Episode 1, Kenner released several flashback figures, and the figures essentially had a card that was attached to the figure that you could slide down and it would change the picture. So you would get Luke Skywalker and it would change to Anakin Skywalker. Was it Anakin Skywalker? Or that might have been Darth Vader. Not really sure. But anyways, the figure would give you kind of a preview into Episode 1. And then on May 2nd, 1999, at midnight, Toys R Us. Remember them? They had what was known as a Midnight Madness sale, where they were releasing the first wave of Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace toys. Action figures, dolls, vehicles, you name it. I can remember me and my best friend were like, yeah, we are definitely doing this. So at about 10 o'clock, we arrived at our local Toys R Us and started our wait so that we could get in and get some new toys. Believe me, that was awesome. Now, in regards to the movie, I was neither overwhelmed, underwhelmed. I was just kind of whelmed. Looking back on it now, I can thoroughly enjoy it and take it for what it was. But back then, I kind of left the theater going, I don't have that same feeling I had. I first saw Star Wars in 1980. Yeah, that was a really long time ago. 1980, my mom took me to see The Empire Strikes Back. It was the first Star Wars movie I'd ever seen. I'd never seen A New Hope, or as it was called back then, just Star Wars. So I was coming into the second chapter. Didn't know any of these characters. Didn't know that they had an adventure before The Empire Strikes Back. But what I do remember is sitting in that theater going, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And that was what started my love for Star Wars. Loved it so much, I even got a Star Wars sleeve tattoo. Now, I could go on and on about Phantom Menace. I could go on and on about The Empire Strikes Back. But what we're here to do is review one of the figures from that line. And that is going to be Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Keep drinking every time I've said that. And that's going to be Gascano. Now, with his multiple arms, Thrill Seeker Gascano is uniquely suited for the extreme sport of pod racing. Piloting a cockpit pulled by two dangerously powerful engines, he relies on a crew of pit droids to keep him in the race when the action heats up. And that was taken from the back of his package. Ooh, I can read. So this particular figure, you get the actual figure of Gascano, and you also get a pit droid. I will say the pit droids, they were awesome. But one thing that this new line introduced was ComTech. These little chips right here. And if you had a ComTech reader, you could place these over the ComTech reader, and it would give you phrases from the actual movie. The ComTech reader right here on the back, and it was shaped like a communicator that Qui-Gon Jinn used in the movie. We're going to cut to a ComTech commercial. Hit it.
Listen to the explosive words and sounds of the Star Wars ComTech system. Imagine yourself in the movie.
I sense a disturbance in the Force. May the Force be with you. Use your instincts. You will be a gentleman, I promise.
Reader, come separately.
You have been well trained.
Have you experienced Star Wars? Have you experienced ComTech? It's your universe.
Yeah, that brings you way back, doesn't it? Well, when I was asked to do this, I thought to myself, oh no, I do not have any more Star Wars action figures. See, I sold off my entire collection because I fell out of love with Star Wars. Now, let's get serious for a minute. When I jumped into YouTube and I started watching it back during COVID, I thought, what are some of the things that I love? Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, toys. And so I started looking for channels that catered to those three things. I found some Star Wars channels and started watching them. And I realized, wow, this fandom has become very, very toxic. Star Wars encompasses a lot of stuff, and it's not for everybody. You take some, you leave some. You like some, you don't like some. But man, the hate was real. And so I started falling out of love with Star Wars. And it was sad because this was the thing I had loved my entire life. This was the thing that me and my mom bonded over. This was the thing that me and my grandmother bonded over. I can remember many times going to the local Kmart, the local Piggly Wiggly, the local Walmart. And whenever we would go grocery shopping, my grandmother would treat me to a new Star Wars action figure. So the love was there. But the love was gone because of the toxicity of everything that I was seeing. I sold off my entire Star Wars action figure collection. I stopped watching all of the content and was just like, wow, I think I'm done with Star Wars. So I kind of became an in-closet Star Wars lover and really didn't talk about it all that much. I still love it. I still watch all of the content, and I can take it or I can leave it. Some things I like, some things I don't. But that core love is still there. So, to all of the people on the internet, keep your love for Star Wars. When Alice and Troy, the Retro Toy Princess, asked me to be part of the May the Power of the Fourth event, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Let's do it. One problem, though, I don't have any more Star Wars action figures. What do I do? So, I ran up to my local toy store that I always go to, called Bat City Toys here in Austin, Texas, and perused what they had for Star Wars. They had a lot of TVC. No Episode 2 figures, no Episode 3 figures, but they had just a small sampling of Episode 1 figures. They had their usual Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padme Amidala, Jar Jar Binks. I wanted to pick something not so common. Of course, I could do a review about Qui-Gon Jinn. Of course, I know a lot about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Of course, Padme Amidala, she's my queen. So, going through each and every one of the figures, I saw this guy, Gascano. And I was like, dude, he's from the pod racing scene. I love the pod racing scene. Let's go ahead and grab him and do a review. He is still mint on card. I am mint with card. And in order to do a proper review, oh man, we're going to have to rip him open. So let's do that now on camera. Woo! All right. So the first thing that you will notice is that here's his Comtech chip. And now, when I was collecting the episode 1 figures and getting all of their Comtech chips, I would keep them on one of those braided metal chains. And believe me, I had a lot of these. I even had one of these hanging from the rearview mirror of my car. These things were so cool. Wow. And just looking at, wow. Yeah, this is going to go in a very special place. Here's your card back. And for episode 1, up in the corner, they put Darth Vader. They have the kind of orange or red lightsaber and the starburst. On the back of the card, you've got some information, and it talks about episode 1. It says, a generation before Star Wars: A New Hope, in a galaxy far, far away, an evil force is gaining strength and threatens an entire civilization. 2 courageous Jedi, a young queen, a Gungan outcast, and a slave boy named Anakin band together to save a planet under attack, as the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. It also gives you some information about the Comtech reader and shows you a cross sale. You've got Boss Nass, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Chancellor Valorum, Mace Windu, Mace Windu, and Gascano and Pipdroid. You also had Jedi Master Points. I can't remember. I think there was a Mace Windu mail-away before these figures came out that you could get, and I'm not sure what you use the Jedi points for. But that's the packaging. Let's take a look at the actual figure. And there he is, guys. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ugly mug off of the screen, and we're going to flip the camera around, and we're going to take an in-depth look at Gascano and the Pipdroid. So, we're going to cut to a scene from Star Wars Episode 1. Hopefully we don't get copyrighted. And then we'll be back with the review of the figure. See you in a sec.
Is he nervous?
He's fine.
You Jedi are far too reckless. The Queen is not.
The Queen trusts my judgment, and handmaiden. You should too.
You're assuming too much.
Alright guys, welcome back. Did you enjoy that little clip? I sure did. I've got Gascano outside of his packaging. Gascano comes with a pit droid and his Comtech chip. And let's start off with the pit droid. Now the pit droid, he's kind of small, and he does have really good paint detail for $19.99. Looking pretty good. Now the pit droid did have 5 POA. Looks as though we've got a ball joint right there on top. His arms move up, down. Oh, no T-pose. No bend at the elbow. His legs can kick up that much. They can kick back that much. No bend at the knee. No ankle rocker. Oh, no. No, anyways, these were 5 POA figures. So for what they were, it's pretty cool. There's his back. And the pit droids have made reoccurring appearances in even modern media. You can see them with Pelimoto in her garage in The Mandalorian. Now he's going to fall over. Watch. Told you. All right. Now this is Gascano. And Gascano is a pod racer. And it looks as though he's got 4 arms. And there he is with his goggles on and his helmet. And here's the side. Here is the back of the figure. And here's the other side. I'm going to take him off of his stand here and show you his articulation. And, well, you can see that his arm detaches. See if we can't get that back on. Oh no, got a defective Gascano. Alright, well his arms can move up. All 4 of them. That looks really weird. His legs do not move. They're just all molded, one solid piece of plastic there at the bottom. He's got his little feet or his pants. Wow. I'm just marveling at how they did this. And his arm is going to continue to fall off. Oh no, I've got a defective Gascano. No! Alright. So there you have him. He looks pretty cool. Wow, this brings back memories. Alright, we'll get him back on the stand. We'll set him up right there. We'll grab the pit droid. So once again, this is just a quick review of Star Wars Episode 1 Gascano. I have to say his name slowly. Gascano. Gascano. And that's my review for this particular event. Once again, I want to thank Lawrence from A Punk with Toys and Allison Troy, the Retro Toy Princess. Make sure you check out their content as well. And I really want to say thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But thanks, guys, for coming to my Phantom Menace Episode 1 review of Gascano and the Pit Droid and listening to me ramble on about Star Wars. Once again, if you like what you see, consider subscribing, dropping me a like, leaving me a comment. I am still new to all of this YouTube stuff, so I am navigating it as best I can. And if you keep liking them, I will keep making them. And until the next time, keep it mint. Bye, guys.